Hey, this is Lucky Yates.
Hey there, this is Jimmy Simpson.
Hello, this is Brad Sherwood.
Hi, this is Claire Coffey.
This is Andy Daly. Hey there, this is Kevin Durant.
Hi, I'm Chris Parnell.
Hey, this is TJ Fine.
Hey y'all, this is David Hoffman.
You are listening to Next Level Radio. Have fun.
It's time for the Showcast. And now, here they are, those pop culture junkies and your hosts, Ben Beck, Adam Gorey, and Steve Richards.
All right, welcome into the first Showcast Spotlight here on the Next Level Podcast Network for 2017. I am your host, Adam Gorey, and co-host is Ben Beck today. Steve is... I don't know what Steve's doing. I haven't talked to him in a while. But again, this is the first podcast for 2017, and we're excited to talk to a gentleman who was on a new CBS show that Ben and I are both hooked on. It's like a competition show called Hunted, and if you haven't checked it out, basically 9 teams of 2 people have to essentially disappear for 28 days and not get caught. They're essentially faux fugitives on the show, and it's really great and really something I'm not sure I could do. But anyway, we're talking to Cyber Analyst Landon Stewart. And Landon, first off, thanks for joining us, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, tell us a little about your role on the show. So I mean, you're in the like the control center, basically, right?
Yeah, I'm in the command center. I'm a cyber intelligence analyst along with Charles DeBarber and Mike Cole. My main job was focusing on their digital footprint, like the devices they left behind, emails, anything that was on the internet or anything that was on a machine was kind of like my wheelhouse.
Cool, yeah. And I mean, in the first episode, I know even you were kind of the one who, not to spoil too much, but you were kind of the one who realized the calendar had some writing above it, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, analytical technique doesn't change between, like, computers and, like, regular analysts, right? You analyze things. You all kind of use the same method. So it was just lucky that, like, I picked it up at that point and looked at it and, you know, shot it out there to the team.
Yeah, that's got. I mean, is that, like, when you do something like that, whether it's on the show or just in real life, like, I mean, that's got to be kind of, like, heart racing, I guess, right?
Yeah, those are the best moments. Like, you guys are lucky in the show. You don't get to see all the boredom and all, like, the deep analysis. But, like, that breakthrough moment where, like, everything comes together, that moment's awesome. It's like scoring a touchdown. It's great.
Yeah. It's one of the things I'm actually enjoying about the show is, you know, as Adam said, it's 9 pairs of people that are they're basically competing and almost going to be the possibility of getting paid just to avoid the authorities, which is definitely an interesting concept. And like Adam said, I don't know if it's anything I could do as well, because I know we're only 2 episodes into the show at this point, and there's already a little bit of a spoiler. There's already been at least 1 pair that's already been caught. And it surprises me that it's usually by little things that get these people caught.
Yeah.
Yeah. We live in a world that's digital and it's connected. So even if you're doing everything perfectly, if you move into the wrong position, do something slightly wrong, you just send out a signal and then you're caught. I mean, there's always a way to avoid being caught, but that's also, you know, related to how uncomfortable you're willing to be. Like, if you're willing to be in the center of the woods with no phone, you know, drinking rainwater and eating bark, then yeah, you can kind of stay away. But as human beings, you know, we like comfort. We go towards comfort even when we're stressed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think...
Running.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I had...
I was just going to say, I think I would be caught within probably a half hour when they checked my Snapchat and I was like, on the run. I would be done for.
I had joked with some of the other guys in the command center that they would have found me in the first car they had Yingling on draft.
Yeah, nice.
So I wouldn't have lasted long either.
Yeah, I mean, it's and that was something I was actually going to ask you too. I mean, because you're on the authoritative side of this. You're one of the people that are trying to catch, these pairs that are out there. If the tables were ever turned, do you think this was something you could ever do, basically with the knowledge that you have of how it's done?
That's actually a really great question. I think I would have the basics down, right? Like, I'd understand what to do from an investigative perspective. Like, I'd be like, okay, they're going to be looking for X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. But there's a whole rest of the alphabet that I can't plan for.
Yeah.
There's so many randoms, and there are so many things that occur, and a plan only survives first contact. So that's what would worry me, is trying to deal with all the variables while running away.
Yeah. So
I think in the process of, like, me trying to, like, wager on variables, on should I do this or should I do that, I would get caught just sitting there.
Well,
while I
what's
was, trying to plan my next move.
What is obviously, on your show you're a cyber analyst, intelligence, all that stuff. So how did you where did you get into that? What have you done outside the show or before the show that kind of got you on the show?
Oh, U.S. Army. That's what definitely got me into it.
Okay.
I was in the Army for 10 years, and I got lucky, and I got into the intelligence program, and I got even more lucky that I was chosen to be in the flagship group of cyber intelligence analysts.
Oh,
so
cool.
That's how I learned it.
Well, yeah, first, thank you for your service, obviously. I mean, sorry, I lost my train of thought. How did you get on the show then from there?
My companion, the guy in the snappy purple shirt, Charles, was initially contracted by CBS, and he's like, hey, you got to go talk to my buddy Landon. We work at the same company. He's really great. And then he was like, hey, you have to meet my boss, Teresa Payton. So that's kind of how we all got drawn into the show.
Okay, so you guys have actually, quite a few of you already knew each other outside of the show then.
Yeah, I work with Charles and Teresa for my day job.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool.
What kind? I'm curious because, I mean, obviously as a cyber analyst, you work a lot of technology and you do have the military background, but what other kind of background do you need to become like a cyber analyst?
I think the main thing is patience and creativity. Those are the two things. It's like anything, the amount of hours you're willing to put into it and the fact that, like, you never stop learning. Like, it's kind of like the human body with, like, a doctor. Like, a doctor never stops learning. A new disease shows up. A new technique evolves, and you have to learn. Computers are the same way. Technology's constantly changing. So you're always studying something new, and you're always trying to catch up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's something that these shows usually tend to not show. I mean, if you look at shows like CSI where they solve the crime within like a 45-minute time period, and it takes weeks upon possibly months to get this stuff done. And you had that earlier as well. Like, we don't get to see all the boring stuff. The edits of the show make it seem like that, because I remember I think it was even the first episode. There was one point where they were showing one of the couples, and they were like, "Oh, such and such has been on the run." For like 8 days now. I'm like, 8 days? It's been 20 minutes of the episode.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Yeah.
So, and that's what
you guys missed.
Go ahead.
You guys missed the 7 days of headbanging in between, the cool moments.
Yeah. So, and that's something that we didn't mention too. I mean, the premise of the show is that they pretty much have to outlast you guys for 28 days. And if they do, they win $250,000. But the concept of the show is interesting because there might, and we don't know, obviously you do at this point, but there might necessarily not even be a winner if you catch everyone.
Yeah, that could always be the case. There might not be a winner. I mean, if you get caught, you get caught.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to tell us if there is a winner?
I am not allowed to speak on that.
I don't want to know.
Okay.
I don't want to know, to be honest with you. I'm enjoying watching, and
so am I, because I didn't get to see what the fugitives were doing, of course.
Yeah, true. So
I'm getting to have all these aha moments watching it.
Yeah. Now, one other thing I've been curious about too, when they did this, and were you guys trying to catch all of these couples at one time, or were they at different time periods?
They were staggered, but at one point you can kind of. At one point, it kind of like was that they were all there at once, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So like they started at different times, but there are times where, all of them were.
It was like a ball growing, like as it like goes down a hill.
I guess, I gotta imagine trying to catch, even like in like real life work, not just on the show, but like trying to catch one has to be completely different than catching like 4 or 5. Like, do you ever get stuff kind of mixed up? Like, oh, I got this clue. Oh, wait, that was for this person.
You do in the beginning, but as you do it more, you kind of don't. Like you learn how to like section off your brain between cases or, targets. So, but sometimes, you'll be calling one person one name and one person another, and it's like, are we talking about the same thing? Mm-hmm. And then everybody runs back to their desks and looks at their notes, and they're like, no, you were actually talking about this. But as you do it more and you get into a groove, you kind of like learn how to separate things.
Yeah. Well, what's as far as catching criminals and fugitives on or off the show, I know you had hacked into an email on one of the episodes. What's kind of maybe a constant that really ends up being something that usually does people in, or that they don't think about, that, you can easily access, that basically gives them up?
I think I'd be hammering in the point that the show kind of has, like, the internet never forgets.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Like, we're all lucky because we grew up in a time before everything was recorded on the internet.
Right.
But, like, you look at, like, young people now, every single thing they do on the internet is, like, saved. So all those embarrassing high school moments are there forever for, like, this generation of, like, kids. So it's the same thing now. You think that you delete something, or, you think that there's a small piece of information that isn't important, but when you have professionals constantly surveilling it, they're going to find something and tease out a clue on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have a little bit of a computer science background too from college. And I mean, there's been moments in the show where you see the contestants or the so-called fugitives saying like, oh, well, I'm going to delete all my social media. And even I'm sitting back, I'm like, that's not going to work.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, that's utterly pointless.
Deleting.
Well, remind me to change my Gmail security question away from my favorite sports team, at least. It's pretty easy one to figure out.
You've been doing this profession, between the military and obviously work afterwards. You've been doing it for a long time, and technology has certainly come a long way, including the growth of social media has, kind of been into a boom with, Facebook, Twitter, and all these different, Instagram and all these different things, all these different platforms that are out there. I'd have to imagine that the existence of all these different social media platforms, I would have to imagine that kind of makes your job easier.
In actuality, when I look at all these social media platforms, it kind of like gives me this like weird moment where I think it's like, wow, people volunteer all this information, right? Mm-hmm. Like people worry about like government surveillance, but there's all this information that you're putting out publicly that would make like real surveillance on you not needed, simply because you're giving it all away anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. You don't think about it.
Yeah, we don't think about it. Like every single portion of our life now is like starting to become digital and be on the internet, and it's exciting, but it's also scary because of the privacy that we're giving up.
Yeah,
and not even knowing it consciously.
Does that mean you yourself tend to stay away from social media because you know how it is, or are you just a little bit more careful about what you put out there?
I tend to stay away from it because like I'm kind of like asocial, like most like nerds. I don't have like much to say. Like, you want to get me talking about like Star Wars or something like that? And,
we are the perfect podcast for that.
Yes, we are.
I'll fall away from it. Like, you'll notice like I don't say like a lot on the show, but I was like going for like being like the Boba Fett of hunting, where it's just like everything I say is really cool. So
yeah.
I don't need to say much. Maybe I can like get fans based around that.
Well, as long as you don't meet the same fate as Boba Fett.
Yeah, Sarlacc.
Yep, the Sarlacc pit will get you.
Yeah. Although I hear they might make a solo Boba Fett film, which would be sweet.
Yeah, that would be really sweet.
I mean, so, I'm looking at your bio, and like you mentioned, 10 years in the military, in the Army, NSA, other agencies, and currently with Fortalice, like a private firm in D.C. How, if you can explain it all in layman's terms, does like real world work for you compared to what you did on the show?
Like I said, the process is the same. Investigation is investigation. Like, you can't really fake that successfully, not on a reality show anyway.
Right.
Like you said, like, you have a slight computer science background. If something were wrong in what I was doing, it would immediately stick out to you. You'd be like, hey, wait, that's BS.
Yeah.
So for the show to work the way it does, it has to be real. Otherwise, it would just fall apart. Like, you definitely see the man behind the curtain very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Without doubt.
I know you, from what we've seen of you so far in the show, you work in the command center, and there's obviously command center people, and there are people that are out in the field helping with this as well. If it's something you've never done before, would you ever want to get out into the field to try it?
In the Army, I've been in the field, and I figured out, like, I'm better in the rear with the gear. Like, I'm a smart guy. Like, know your strengths.
All right, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I could see that, because I don't know where I would fit. Like, obviously, again, I do have the computer science background, so I'm pretty technically savvy, and I don't know which I would enjoy more, to be honest. I don't know if I'd like to be in the command center or be in the field. I think I'd take either one, actually.
Yeah. Just being a part of the action.
Yeah. I mean, you see the captures and everything, and you're like, man, it would be cool if I was there chasing that guy.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like, would I even, like, be able to find him, or would I just be, like, lost in the woods staring at a tree or something? So
Yeah.
I kind of have both of those, but, like, you want that definite adrenaline of, like, human contact and grabbing somebody and being like, your time on the run is over.
Yeah.
Like, that's totally awesome. Yeah.
Although,
for the show's purposes, that would be cool. In real life, I think maybe I'd rather just stay in the car when they do that.
Because I'd have to imagine the guys out in the field are liking this, because all it takes is they just have to, like, just kind of touch them and say, your time on the run is over. Whereas in real life, they're probably going to fight a little bit harder.
A little bit of a pushback.
Yeah. They're going to fight back.
The awesome thing that you're going to see on the show is, even though they know that, it's simulated, the seriousness is still there. And that's one of the coolest things that you're going to see, is that, like, even though these guys know it's a game, they're not going to turn it off. Like Andy, the guy over in operations, the Navy SEAL, like, he was still a Navy SEAL while he was there, even though, he was doing a TV show. Same thing with, like, Ri-Fi, like Georgia SWAT. He still had that mentality. Like, that mentality doesn't go away, and none of that professionalism, even though it's a game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've done, like, several years ago, I did a couple, like, police ride-alongs, and the ride-along part was all I needed. I think it would be cool, though, to kind of, like, I mean, I have nowhere near the experience or wherewithal to figure out how to hack somebody's Gmail account, but I think it would be cool to do something like that and kind of, like, break a case wide open so that those guys in the field, can find the criminals.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing about stuff like you talk about, like the Gmail, it's all about time. It's like a prison. Like, you'll never build a prison that somebody can't break out of. And you'll never build a computer system or a network that somebody won't be able to break into. Ultimately, it's all about time and the amount of effort that you're willing to put into to make something like that happen.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned too, one of the coolest things about the show, and you're even seeing it early on in these first couple episodes, is, the intent. You mentioned the intensity is still there from the hunters that are out there searching for the people that are on the run, but I think you notice it too, at least in a couple of them. The intensity's there with the fugitives too. I mean, they're playing this for real, and it's. I mean, they're one of the most interesting couples, and again, I don't want you to spoil anything for me, as if you even could. But there's a couple, David and Emily, and this guy David, man, he's intense. Like, he's playing this as if he's really on the run from the law.
That's the gang member, right? The former gang member, right?
He's the guy that's been arrested, before.
Yeah, David's awesome, because you see that, like, he turned his life around, and he's a great guy, and he's doing all these wonderful things, but, like, mentality doesn't change, nor does method of thinking. So even though he's not a criminal anymore, and, he's defending and he's doing great things, he can still put himself in that mindset, and that's why he is awesome to watch.
Yeah. Have you had the opportunity to meet any of these contestants since?
No. I have not met any of the fugitives.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I keep calling them contestants, but they're more like fugitives. I mean, they're contestants in that they're playing for money, but they're really fugitives in the case of this too.
Do you think? So? I mean, we've seen. You see on the show, some people will kind of just call friend after friend to kind of try and stay hidden that way, and use like a network of people they know. And there's a couple that did completely opposite and is just trying to live in the woods. Do you think one of those might have more success than the other?
Well, you have to think about it like this. If you're contacting people and you're in a small, closed-in area, right? Like, you have to, like, if you compare it to, like, GWAT, like, if you're going into the Swat Valley in, like, Pakistan and you don't know anybody and, you're a foreigner, you're never going to tease, like, a person out of a closed-in, close-knit group of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if one of those people makes a mistake, it causes dominoes where the next one does, the next one does, the next one does, and somebody finds you. When you go to the woods, it's expansive, but you still leave tracks, you still leave footprints, you're still a person, you know what I mean? Like, you're still going to affect the environment that you're in. So both of them have their positives and negatives, and both of them are totally doable.
Yeah, it's more, there's one way or another, whether it's digitally or physically, there's always some kind of trail.
Yeah, there's always a way to make a mistake.
Yeah. I mean, and like as I mentioned earlier before too, like we've seen some simple mistakes get some people caught in this show. So it's, and it's easy for us as viewers to sit at home and be like,
I was thinking that too. Like, your best friend? What are you doing?
Why did you use that ATM? You should have known better.
Yeah, right.
Like it's, there's
When
all
it's
these,
you.
there's all these tricks. It's very easy for us to sit at home and say these are mistakes, but when you're under that pressure, that pressure can get to you, and you could very easily make these mistakes while you're out there.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Like the 18 hours, not knowing where you're going to sleep, just the stress of, are these guys behind me? Are they just setting me up right now? Yeah, so it causes you to make mistakes. Like when placed under stress, that's a natural human reaction. We make small mistakes.
Yeah.
Even the best of us do.
Yeah,
the paranoia factor would be ridiculous if I had to do this. Like I would be, every little thing I heard or saw, I would think would be somebody trying to chase me.
The closest like analogy I could have to it is like when you watch like a horror movie and you're like, oh my God, how did you trip? And let it get you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, really, you went on the boat? And it's just like, when you're watching it externally, it seems, dumb. But like when you're actually getting chased by the knife-wielding maniac, your thinking becomes a little less clear.
Yeah, that's why you run upstairs instead of outside.
Yeah.
In a horror movie. But one of the other things I find interesting too, just in the two episodes that we've seen, is I find it difficult sometimes to know who to root for. Like, I don't know if I root for the hunters or I don't know if I root for the fugitives, because there are times where I'm impressed by what some of the fugitives do. I mean, using David again as another example about something, I won't go into too much detail for anybody who's seen it, but, a ruse he pulled with a rental car. And I find that impressive, but I also find it weird that I'm kind of sort of rooting for the bad guys at that point. Because the fugitives are technically the people you're trying to catch. It's your job to catch them, and I'm rooting against you at times. But
I think it's designed to be that way.
Yeah.
Look, man, I'm rooting for you. Don't listen.
No, I mean, like, brave is brave and smart is smart, regardless if it's the fugitives or the command center. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it is a game, and nobody's really being bad. So, yeah, I think it's cool that you can root for the fugitives sometimes, and you're like, run, come on, get away. And other times, you see the command center and you see the high fives, and you're like, yeah, they got him. That was great. So I think it's cool that they give you both of those perspectives and allow you to kind of like make your own decision about how you feel about a given scenario.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, with David and the rental car thing, I was rooting for them. And at that time I was rooting for, I was like, yeah, that was really smart. That was well done. And then there's another time, just using you as a prime example, when you were trying to get into his Gmail account, same guy I was just rooting for. I think it was David whose account you were trying to get into.
Yeah,
I think it was.
But
had the Lakers pictures all over the place.
Yeah. And when you actually did it and you figured out the date he he got the account. I was rooting for you at that time. So
I know
it goes back and forth.
It was the Heat.
Miami Heat.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's one of the coolest things about it is that you get to see both perspectives and you get to like be there with us and then be out there with the fugitives too. But yeah, even me in the command center, sometimes even though I'm going to catch them because I'm a professional, I'm going to tip my hat. I'm going to be like, yeah, dude, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for making this all look dumb. But, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just have to give credit where credit's due. And it's like, wow, yeah, you fooled me. Okay.
Yeah. Well, is there, kind of piggybacking off that, any concerns, whether it be with you or any of the other people in the command center, any concerns that the show is going to, kind of hint to real life fugitives, how to evade police?
I think all that stuff's kind of out there anyway. And I think that we're taking things that people already knew and showing it in a new, exciting way and showing the actual procedural part of it. In terms of, like, giving somebody, tools to be able to run with, I think it's the opposite. I think, if anything, it should kind of scare you into
That's true.
not
Yeah,
wanting to do something bad because, that that there are professional people looking for you and that they're going to go over every single piece of information to catch you.
And that's why nobody won? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm not saying anything.
I'm just
watching. It's going to be really cool.
But yeah, hey, Landon, we really appreciate you spending some time with us. Again, Hunted is on CBS Wednesdays at 8, 7 Central. I am assuming, and again, I couldn't find a Twitter. I assume you don't have like a Twitter, Instagram in true Boba Fett fashion?
Yeah, I don't tweet. I am a non-tweeter.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe we'll see a second season roll around. I can't imagine why we wouldn't, and hopefully you get invited back, and maybe we can have you back on the podcast.
Yeah, that would be cool. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody, thank you for listening, and welcome into 2017 for the Showcast, and we'll have more podcasts coming your way. And make sure you check out nextlevelradioonline.com for the other podcasts on the network. And again, thanks for listening.